What's up, Super Cool Nerds? Ricardo here with another edition of Super Cool Nerd Nation. I have the one and only Desiree with me today. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome.
How are you?
Doing pretty good. I know you had a bit of a tizzy. I don't know, y'all can see her, but the dog's right there. Tizzy, get down. Tizzy, get down. Just pet her. There we go.
There we go.
So yes, welcome. So let's get right into the nitty gritty of it. How long have you been cosplaying for?
I have been cosplaying since, it's been 5 years, 6 years.
Okay.
Something like that.
So, 2013, 2014?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, cool. And do you remember what your first cosplay was?
Ooh, actually my first cosplay was Yuna from Final Fantasy X.
Okay. Did you make it? Did you buy it?
It was my first costume that I bought.
You bought? Okay. And did you so was this like an Akon fan days kind of?
It was Akon back in, what did we say, 2013,
2013, 2014?
The years are all close together, so it's like, how long have I been doing this? That's weird.
Was that your first Akon, or how'd you go?
It was my first Akon, yeah. So I went to Richland College for a few years studying music education.
Okay.
And I met a group of people there, and they were all nerds, and
Yay.
it was really great. So I didn't know what my group of people was. Usually people have a group of people that they hang out with that are into the same thing, but at that time, I wasn't sure what my niche was, who my group of people were.
Yeah.
So I met this guy, Zach Lono, if anybody knows
I love
him.
Zach.
Yeah. I met him at Richland, and he introduced me to his friends, and that's what started the whole...
Nice.
Oh, hey, have you seen Batman animated series? Hey, have you seen anime and all this stuff? And I'm just like, oh my God, all of this is coming back to me. I haven't seen some of this stuff since my childhood, so I started getting back into it, and then that's when the cosplay stuff started happening.
Okay, so since Akon was your first, I guess your anime convention, how did you get into cosplay? They were told you, hey, we dress up like this, and you just kind of did it, or did had you seen pictures or video, other stuff?
Yeah. So as I said, hanging out with some of these friends from Richland, and Tizzy again.
Yep.
Hanging out with some of these friends from Richland. A lot of them were into Naruto. I couldn't get into it. Sorry.
Yeah.
No,
it's
nerds.
Yeah, I'm not into it either.
Yeah.
Except for that one kid that ran across Area 51.
Oh my God, he made it on the news. That had to be planned. I don't know. It was just funny.
He is forever now internet legend. So.
Yes, I hope they find him.
So they were getting into anime, Naruto, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they were trying to get me into Naruto, and I couldn't get into it. And then I started checking out Final Fantasy because I remembered Final Fantasy VII, and then my friends were like, "Hey, you should check out if you really want to know the best one." In their opinion, was Final Fantasy X.
Okay.
So I checked it out. I watched some gameplays, and then I actually played the game myself on my PlayStation 2 at the time.
Oh wow, that's a throwback.
It is a throwback. Ah, dang, we're so old. I'm just kidding. But I started playing the game, fell in love with Yuna, and was just like, I have to cosplay this character.
Yeah.
So I know there's at least a picture out there. I gotta find it, but I wore the costume once, sold the costume, and it was after that con where I met some people where who did I meet? What's her name? Mika Nicole?
Yeah.
Yeah, I met Mika Nicole.
She lives down in Austin, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, she lives in Austin. She was telling me that she hand makes her costumes, so, I asked her for some advice, and that's when I just started hand sewing everything, because honestly, making your own costumes is a lot cheaper than getting it commissioned.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've had a couple of things commissioned, and they cost a pretty penny. But it was worth it because it was friends of mine. So it's like, hey, here's some work for you, and now I get to show your skills and all that. And hopefully, you get more commissions that way. So, what was the first cosplay that you made then?
It was a full bodysuit for Spider-Gwen when the character first came out. The fun fact is I made the entire suit by hand, no sewing machine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you hand-stitched everything?
Yes. And it was a pain in my butt. I hand stitched that whole entire costume, and then like a week later, they released the
patterns.
Zentai suits, and I was just like, well, I spent $50 compared to $100+ for a suit, so I was just like,
So so in that way though, it's more special though, because it's like it's an original suit done by you. It's not just like the pattern and all that. It's not just like the shading and all that. The everything already kind of pre-made. You just got to put it together to fit you. So I think that's better though, that you kind of made it before the suits came out. It's just more. It's more unique.
Yeah.
So I like that. So was A-Kon your first convention that you ever went to?
Yeah,
like,
A-Kon was the very first convention I've ever been to. I went there. I didn't really know a lot of people except the small little group of people that I met at Richland, and then that's when I started like networking in a sense. I met Mika Nicole. I met Chris Clinton. It was like one of his first cons too. So like,
oh wow.
We got together, became good friends, and I met a whole lot of people, and I couldn't remember anyone's names.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
It's so bad because like everybody relates to the whole thing where you go to a con, you meet people, and then the next con you go to, they somehow remember your name, and you're like, hey,
person. You were Deadpool.
You were yes.
That was a funny thing though, because it was the same way with me. I would remember cosplays, but I wouldn't remember names. Like, it's, oh yeah, you were Doctor Strange, or yeah, you were Iron Man, or yeah, you were Batman. Your name starts with the J. Oh, it's Jacob or whatever. So I was the same way. Like, I would go to cons and I would remember cosplays, but I wouldn't remember names at first. And after a while, I was like, oh yeah, you're Robert, you're Desiree, you're Mika, you're whoever. So
yeah, it's even better when you see them like out of cosplay and you're just like, oh hey, and they're like, oh hey.
Yeah.
I was Harley Quinn, or hey, I was Deadpool. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Those are the
best.
So after A-Kon, how long did you wait to go to your next convention? Or did you kind of try to go to the next whatever it was?
Okay, so here's, I started going to cons more often. How I afforded it, I have no idea. Because I was a college student and I was working, and my parents did get on to me about spending money on stupid crap, as in conventions, and I was just like, how is it stupid? I'm making friends, I'm doing something that makes me happy for the moment.
You're buying statues you don't need, you're buying comics you don't need.
I have a whole box of comics. I have statues sitting in my closet because I still haven't put shelves up to display them, and I'm just like, oh my god. It's so bad. I had to like kind of like stop buying statues and pop figures. Oh my god, I have like over 90 pop figures.
Oh wow, I don't think we have that many. I have like 2 boxes in the garage, and I have some somewhere. They're in this room that we're in right now, but they're hidden though. Okay. Because they're like the more expensive ones, so I've had them hidden, not in a box where they could get damaged because of where they're at. So what was like, you say you A-Kon first, what was your next big convention? Was it like Fan Expo or Anime Dallas?
I believe, okay, because it's Fan Days in February usually. Okay, it was Fan Expo.
Fan Expo,
and then it was Anime Fest. It was one of those two in that order.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was going to something
every other weekend.
Every other weekend, because of course, Captain Daniel Calhoun, Captain Meridad. I have to get that right. I'm sorry. I met him. I can't remember which con it was. Oh, it was Fan Expo.
Okay.
So the funny way that we met.
So it would have been in October.
Yes.
Because usually
Anime Fest is like in August. Okay.
Okay, and then A-Kon is usually in June, right?
Uh-huh.
So the Fan Expo you would have met some of the other people would have been October.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I met him, and the funny thing was I didn't want to ride the DART train by myself. So luckily he had made a posting in the North Texas Cosplay page.
I remember that post.
Yeah. He made a posting like, hey, let's get a whole group of people to ride the DART train together. And I was just like, okay, cool. So it was me, him, and one other person. I can't remember her name. I'm sorry if you watch this. Don't hate me.
It's been years, and she's had a few drinks since then.
Oh, well, I'm an alcoholic. I'm just kidding. I'm not. No, we rode the DART train, and we came up with this thing where we called each other train buddies.
Yeah.
So anytime me and Dan meet each other, it's like, train buddy! Hey, train buddies! So anytime there's a con and I don't feel like paying for parking, I'd rather pay the $3 to $5 just to get there and get back home, so.
It's a lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
I became train buddies one time with Dan because I had a random day off and I decided to go to downtown, and I was near where Dan was working at the time, so we met at a pizza place, and then we rode the DART train back to wherever he was at, and then I rode it a little bit further down, but we rode the train together for a few miles. So I'm like, hey, we're train buddies. Now we finally did it.
Yeah.
So,
I was like a stop behind. Like, I think he was like Forest Lane, and I was, what was the one before that? Like Greenville or something? I don't remember. But, because I don't ride the train as much now, unfortunately. But I was literally a stop away, so I would board the train, and then literally like 2 seconds, the next stop, and he'd come in, and we're just like, oh, we live so close.
When you first went to the conventions, were you kind of overwhelmed on how big it was and everything that was going on?
So, when I first started going to conventions, yeah, it was overwhelming because I have ADHD, so it's really...
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I know. It is so bad trying to, like, focus on everything. You see one thing, and then you see another. It's as bad as, literally, oh, squirrel. Like, I gotta go chase that. Like, look at that squirrel. That's really nice. Oh, look at the dog. Okay.
She's bringing a bone over, so...
Tizzy again.
Come here, Tiz. Come here.
Is she going to go over there?
No, she's going to get pets.
She loves me.
They get excited when we have new people over, so... you saw your paw right there, so...
Oh, look at paw. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so you're a little overwhelmed, but you kind of got used to it after a while?
Yeah. So... The more cons I went to, the better I was able to distribute my time. Because usually when I wear cosplays, a lot of it has to do with me taking my glasses off and I can't see a thing. And before you say get contacts, I tried and I just can't.
I was going to say get contacts, I was going to say get LASIK.
I can't. It's, I can't even think about it. But
so
yeah.
if I try to do this, touching my eyeball?
I mean, it's cool that you can do that. I can't. For some reason, I can take them out no problem, but I can't. It takes me 40 minutes an eye trying to like if you ever see My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where the girl, she's putting in contacts and she's just like that's me. Okay.
So you said like growing up, when you got back into the nerd fandom, I guess, you said there was stuff that you hadn't seen from your childhood. So like, what kind of stuff did you grow up with?
So I did grow up with Batman, the animated series. What are some other things that like came out of nowhere? I think that was like really the main one because I really did like Harley Quinn growing up, and then it kind of like just went away because I started getting into other activities like band, school, being a teacher's pet. I'm just kidding. Pretty much. But I became obsessed with Batman, the animated series, for quite some time. Like I started collecting a lot of Harley Quinn, a lot of Joker stuff, and it made me want to be, cosplay Harley Quinn. So like I've done many variations of the character.
How many do you know off the top of your head?
Oh, probably about a good 9 or 10.
9 or 10. Okay, cool. What kind of really attracted you to Harley and Joker? Was it just like their personalities, their personas, how they kind of worked with each other? It
was just how they worked together. Like, I wouldn't, idolize their relationship, because it's toxic. Really toxic. Yeah. Because I would have, gotten the heck out of there. Yeah. But, I think it was just how they mesh together, like how they have jokes. And it's just their interaction. It's just interesting.
The very small good part of their friendship and relationship, whatever it is, that's the stuff that, yeah,
that's what attracted me to them. And both of them are just funny. They really are clowns.
They are. So did you grow up with anything else? Like, did you grow up with like Star Wars, Star Trek?
So yeah.
Any Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, anything like that? Pokemon?
Okay. I did grow up with Pokemon. I grew up with Yu-Gi-Oh. It was really, yeah, like it was really funny because like as a kid, everybody had Pokemon cards and they were trading and playing games, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to get Pokemon cards. But my parents weren't like doing so well financially. They were doing their best though.
Yeah.
But by the time I finally got some Pokemon cards, everybody moved on to Yu-Gi-Oh, and I was just like, why do I bother? But I got into Yu-Gi-Oh a little bit, and then, you know, Dragon Ball Z I do remember watching a lot of. But then I kind of like forgot about those shows because I was just like, I'm moving on. You know, as a kid, you're just like, you're moving on from one thing to another.
Yeah.
And, you know, you don't really think about it until you're older, which is what I've realized.
Yeah.
But I started getting into Adult Swim.
Oh, okay.
You remember those little warnings where it's like, if you're under the age of 14, viewer discretion is advised, or you should not be watching it. And I'm just like,
you're a 12-year-old.
12-year-old watching all the anime stuff like Wolf's Rain, Cowboy Bebop, Case Closed was one of my favorites. Inuyasha.
Inuyasha, okay.
Yeah, all the anime stuff. So I was just like, that's how I started building a love for anime.
And did like that? Did you kind of keep that as you were growing up, like in middle school, high school, and all that, or did it kind of go away for a little bit?
So I kept it on through middle school and up until like my freshman year in high school, and then it kind of went away again. So as I was so focused on being a musician.
Yeah.
And I just focused on being a band geek felt like forever.
What did you play in band?
Clarinet.
Clarinet?
Mm-hmm.
Do you still play? Can you still play it?
I can still play, I just can't hit the high notes as well as I used to.
Heard that. Why did you do band in high school? What kind of attracted you to go into band?
It ran in my family.
Okay.
So, like, there have been clarinet players in my family that have, like, played, and sometimes they don't play for too long. And I'm just like, oh, well, maybe I can get into it. And I got into it, and I ended up being better than most of my family that picked up clarinet. Like, I've made state competitions. It's crazy how obsessed with clarinet I was until I, like, snapped out of it. And
Did you play it all the way through high school? Did you?
Oh, yeah. I played all the way through high school and through college. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I gained scholarships.
Oh, nice.
Playing clarinet, and then learning multiple instruments like trumpet, French horn, flute. Oboe was my favorite. Like, I used to crap on oboe so much, but it was only because of the player, not the instrument.
Not the instrument itself. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you want to do more, like when you were, I guess once you did band and you were kind of growing up, did you want to do more with music, or did you have like other plans?
I was so confused as to like what I really wanted to do. Like, I was going back and forth. I wanted to do music therapy for a little bit because I love working with kids, or I wanted to be a elementary school music teacher, and then I was like, maybe I want to be a professional clarinetist, maybe perform with the symphonies.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I don't know what I want. I was just like, I just want to play.
So once you were in college and then you met like Zach Lona and all of them, started going to cons and then started cosplaying and all that, did you kind of get more into comic reading then, or did you read comics before that?
I got more into comic reading when I met all those friends in Richland. Growing up, I was reading books like a lot. Like, I was always checking out books from the library, and it's just really weird to think about it back then, because it's like, wow, I used to like read books like I go through binging Netflix now, and now I can't even find myself to pick up a book, and it's kind of sad because I'm just like, I really want to get back into reading, but I guess it's the distractions of social media and just the internet. And
one thing I found that's kind of worked for me to help me with reading, because I like to read too, but again, with dogs, TV, and everything kind of going around, cell phone. One thing I started doing was I would go to Barnes and Noble and just sit in their cafe and just read there, because there's people there, but nothing really too interesting happening. That
Right.
I can just really focus on reading the book. So, any favorite books growing up?
Oh man. So primarily the Twilight books. I'm gonna sound really lame when I say that, but I
mean,
read
they were fun.
Yeah, I read the books before they even became movies. Like,
Okay, yeah.
I remember when the second movie, New Moon, came out as Breaking Dawn, like the book was being released. So I was just like, oh my god, like they're making these movies and the book series is barely finished. It blew me away.
Yeah.
I liked the movies, but I would much rather prefer the books. They were a lot of fun to read. I've read them like twice through. And then there's a book called The Long Walk Home. I'm trying to remember the author. I'm sure I'll remember it later
afterwards.
on. Yeah, I'm going to remember it afterwards, and I'm going to be like, it's that
That's the
person.
one.
That's the one. Think it was Robert something. I don't know. I'd have to.
We'll look it up. I'll put a name of it underneath the thing so you guys can see what book she was talking about.
Yeah. And what other books did I like?
Did you read like the Harry Potter books growing up, Lord of the Rings?
Yes, I did read the Harry Potter books. I enjoyed them, and they're really good. It's just
You
funny
sound so
because
convincing.
I know, right? I just really enjoyed the movies more.
Okay.
It's kind of weird to say.
I mean, I love the books a lot more than I love the movies, so that's just me though.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people like the books way more, and they're just like, oh, they missed so much stuff in the movies, and I'm like, I get it, but Harry Potter series was really long.
I mean, it keeps me interesting for 7 books, so I mean, I enjoyed them a lot. So
Yeah.
So let's kind of go back to cosplay. You've done the Harley Quinns, you did Spider-Gwen, and then you did the one from Final Fantasy X. What are some other cosplays that you've done that you're kind of known for?
So far the only 2 that I know that I'm known for is the Mad Harley mix that I did.
Oh, Mad Moxie and from
Yeah.
Borderlands and.
I did a crossover with Mad Moxie from the Borderlands games and Harley Quinn, and that people knew me as her for a while, and due to working a lot over the last few years, I didn't really get a chance to go to conventions as much as I wanted to, and it was like a little hiatus for a little bit. But just recently, I did a Hooray for Harleywood cosplay.
Oh yeah, the sparkly one.
Yeah, the really sparkly one, and it seems like a lot of people really enjoy that costume. It's not even completed. And I still went, and everyone's like, oh my god, it looks really good. And I'm like, thanks, I cried making it.
Do you have anything you really want to do that's on like your to-do list?
No, that's the sad thing. I haven't really found a costume that like I really want to do, which is really weird because like I used to just think off the top of my head, oh, I really want to do this. Let's do it, and I would do it.
Yeah.
Or like, I mean, if there's really something that I would really like to redo, it'd be Gwenpool, because I did end up losing the mask somewhere. I don't remember where.
Probably somewhere like at Alcon or something.
Yeah, at a con, more than likely. I was so upset because I had made the mask for Gwenpool twice, and the first one wasn't so great. So when I made the second one, I was super proud of it because like the eyes just looked right, and it just made me look goofy. But then when I lost that mask, I was like really upset.
Was there anything that you ever started that you ended up not finishing?
You just asked me that right now?
So more than enough cosplays, and more than you want to admit to, right?
Yeah, I have started cosplays and have not completed them. Like,
is there like one that like you're just absolutely kind of like really sad you never got to finish? Like, is there like your one like white whale?
I wanted to do this Tinker Harley. Like I said, I'm obsessed with Harley, so I like to do all variations of Harley Quinn.
Yeah. And
it was like a Tinkerbell like mix with Harley Quinn. It was supposed to be the cowl and then the skirt, or the dress, whatever.
Yeah.
And I saw a photo, and it just looked adorable, and I was just like, I want to do that, but I only got the dress done.
Okay. Well, I mean, if it's on your list, you could always finish it. Now that you've got time now for right now. Now that you don't have
for right now,
Yeah.
I have time for right now. But like, I can proudly say that Hooray for Harleywood costume had been sitting in my closet for about a year before I touched it again. Was just like, you know what? Let's see how far I can get into this, and it's like 90% complete. So
Oh, well, there you go.
that's the only costume that I went back to.
Do you have any future plans for the conventions, or I mean, I guess not for cosplays, since you say you really don't have anything in the works, but anything like more things you want to do at conventions or anything else?
I'd like to at least go to Fan Expo, and if there's a celebrity I really want to meet, I really want to like invest in that.
Yeah.
I guess because really I've already had my fun as far as like dressing up in costume and meeting everybody, and then from far away seeing your favorite celebrities, and it's just like, I can say that I've seen them in person.
Yeah.
But
after doing that for like 5 years, it's a little redundant.
It is, and there have been a couple celebrities that I've met, and I'm just like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I've lucked out with, what's his name? David DeLuise. He's like the dad off of Wizards of Waverly Place. I met him, and he was cool enough to just take a picture with me without having me to pay, because I was nice to him. And I think the most expensive photo op that I...
Mark Hamill?
No. David Tennant.
David Tennant. Ah, okay.
Because originally Christopher Eccleston was my doctor, because that's where I started at with Doctor Who.
Same here. High five.
Yeah, high five. He was my doctor.
Or high nine.
High nine. I don't know how to do that. Yes, Christopher Eccleston was my first one. And the really funny thing is, when I was moving on to the 10th Doctor, when that whole regeneration thing happened, I immediately shut my TV off and refused to watch Doctor Who for about 3 days before I was like, I just couldn't get over the fact that I fell in love with Nine. And
Are you going to try to meet him next month?
Wait, where's he going?
Eccleston's going to be at Fan Expo. Where have you been?
Where have I been, guys? I have been here.
Yeah, Christopher Eccleston's going to be at Fan Days. They announced him about a month ago. He's not
going to cancel like Matt Smith.
He's not Matt Smith.
Okay.
He's not Matt Smith. Sorry, Matt Smith.
Not sorry. He's canceled like 5 times already.
But it's not always his fault. You know, they need him for reshoots or stuff like that. It's in the contracts. It's in the contracts. You know, he's a busy man.
So is David Tennant, and he still makes time for people.
Snap! It's not always his fault. I'm saying, whenever celebrities cancel, I never fault them.
I don't fault them unless it's been done more than 3 times.
I still don't fault them. And you know what? I actually fault Fan Expo for keep booking him.
No kidding, right?
Yeah, it's like, come on, guys. Like, you know he's really busy. Like, go for someone else. So I get it.
What's the last thing he even showed up in?
He's been in The Crown. Oh. He's been busy in England shooting The Crown.
Oh, I don't know about that show. I've heard of it. But...
So, I mean, he just finished, but I don't know what he's doing now, but I know. And then he's rumored to be in the MCU.
Oh, yeah, I did hear about that.
He's rumored to be in the Doctor Strange, to be the villain.
Well, he's got the face for it.
So he's busy. So, I mean, I get it.
Okay, fine. I'll give him a pass for now. Other people will
what
probably
about,
be like, why?
Wow. Okay, if you had to choose one of these 3, Dragon Con, San Diego, New York Comic Con.
Why would you do that to me? Those are all 3 cons I want to go. At least once.
The way I've kind of figured it, like San Diego's more movies. There's show stuff, but it's a lot more movies. Right.
It's a lot more movies and announcements.
And then Dragon Con's a big 6-day party. It's all costumes and all that. There's some like.
They have some cool animatronic. I can't talk today. I'm so sorry.
They do have cool panels. They do have celebrities, and they have that kind of thing. And then New York Comic Con's more TV, because New York Comic Con's in the fall, so it's right when all the TV stuff's coming out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I see it. See, San Diego's what's coming out for the next year, and they do have TV show stuff, but it kind of focuses more on movies. I kind of see it as. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's the con, or it's the con. Because it was like the first big convention. And then you have New York, where it's all TV, mostly TV stuff, and then San Diego, which is just like a 5-day party, so 6-day party. So if you had to choose one,
we've already got a party with all cons, so that takes that out.
okay.
I'm just kidding. or am I? I don't know. I think I would still choose San Diego Comic-Con, like SDCC.
Yeah.
Only because as I've been getting into this whole cosplay charade, I've been meeting people like through Instagram, online,
Yeah.
and a lot of these like popular cosplayers are all from California, and they tend to meet up at SDCC.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that would be awesome. I could finally meet my internet friends over there. Like, I think one of the main reasons I really want to go is Harley Palooza that's held every year.
My friend's the one that puts that together. Nazni Vols, she's one that puts it together. I've actually known her since elementary school.
I know.
So her and I have been friends for a long time, and she was actually part of SCNS for a little bit there. So she's really cool. You like her. So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like, I see her posts also. Like, I follow her. I follow several other Harley cosplayers and Jokers that have attended Harley Palooza, and I'm just like, one day, I'll be there. Harley, doubt.
I know. I think she had posted this publicly, so I believe I can talk about this. I know Nazni's gonna do it. She's gonna put it together one more year, and then she's gonna like hand it off. So you've got till next year for her version of it. But like, it's gonna continue just with other people.
Just with other people.
Yeah.
Okay, man.
So just gonna. But she's still gonna be there. She'll
still be there. Yeah, and I'm guessing the stress of putting together an event could take a toll on somebody eventually. Like, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, she's been doing it for a number of years now. So but I mean, I didn't get to go to it when I went in 2017. I had to cover something else, so I ended up missing it. But I mean, I've seen the pictures of it. She's done a great job of it. So I'm very excited to be able to go to San Diego again and see it happen, whether she's in charge of it or not. So
okay.
So yeah, it's Harley Palooza. It's all the and. There was one that Paul Dini actually showed up at. So he showed up at the right at the beginning, right at the end. Paul Dini just like walked up to it, and they're like, "Hey, it's Paul Dini. You created us."
That's okay.
So
I need to keep up with stuff more. I feel like I'm on top of it. I think I'm more on top of TikTok memes right now. It's like the new Vine. It's weird.
God, I miss Vine.
I miss Vine so much.
Awesome. Well, dude, is there any social media you want to plug? Anything where people can find you?
Yeah, so you can follow me at Instagram. It's Desiree Janelle G. I need more followers, but
Follow her.
Well, it's not that I need more. I would love more. It would encourage me to post
Follow
more.
her. And see, you get more posts if you follow her.
Yeah, get more posts, and I'll figure out what pictures I need to take more of, I guess.
Do you have a TikTok too?
Ooh, you don't want to follow me on TikTok. It's very cringy.
So of course we want to follow you on TikTok.
It's the same name, just like it is on Instagram. It's Desiree Janelle G. You'll find me, and you'll find how cringy I am as a person. I do have a couple trending TikToks on there, so it may be like 3,000 followers, but that's like, meh.
So go to TikTok also and watch her not so cringy videos.
Myself.
Awesome. Well, Des, thank you so much for coming on. We got to know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
We'll be seeing you hopefully at Fan Expo here in a couple of weeks because Christopher Eccleston's going to be there, so you get to meet your first doctor.
If I have money.
So sell a kidney or something.
I only need one, right?
Yeah, we only need one. Yeah, and you can also sell part of your liver, that actually regrows.
Oh, no.
So you just won't be able to drink for a little bit.
I need the drink. I'm not an alcoholic.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you for showing up and watching this video. Like, subscribe as always. And as we say at the end of every show,
keep on nerding.